right, folks. It's Monday night. We're gonna do some game design. We're working on the Bastion campaigns for building domain and geopolitics in the 5e game engine, using the 5e game engine, expanding on the concept of bastions that was introduced in the 2024 DMG. We're converting it into sort of an ability check, skill test sort of system, where characters and their hirelings in their facilities can make checks to achieve goals or create complications, which can become adventures. So give me a moment to check on my volume and all that bloody blah, and we'll get to work volume here. And for hey, it sounds like I'm coming through a-okay. So I'm going to drop this volume down so it doesn't get in the way of our conversations today. And as soon as I get done with social media posts, I am going to provide a link to where we are developing the mechanics today. It'll just take a few moments for me to update the social media. So in the meantime, I will regale you with my origin story and background. So I will say, hey, my name is Phil Kearney. I create role-playing games, I illustrate them, and I publish them online. And I am creating content for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. I've been a DM since 1987, which is where my passion for domain-style play was born. And I've been a freelance illustrator since 1999. I've been creating content on the DMsGuild since 2018. And once they introduced the concept of bastions, I stopped the work on what I was doing for the In Command system, which I had been streaming about a year or so ago, and waited for the Bastion mechanics to be published, because they are a different angle, but similar to what we were already developing for In Command of Armies, Guilds, and Kingdoms. So we already published the fleet and vehicle mechanics in the Spelljammer Combat and Exploration document that we published last year. And now we're just tightening it down to guilds and kingdoms being represented as bastions and settlements using the new language in the 5e24 books. So this will all be on the DMsGuild once it publishes. I'm done with my updates, so I can get those out of the way. And let's just fix our screen here. There we go. So first off, if you think this stuff is cool today, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications of when we're live in the future. Here is the playtest document that we're using today to craft these rules. They're far from final draft. We'll be hiring an editor and possibly a co-writer to help get through the actual text. Right now we're making the technical mechanics to make this stuff work. So if you're looking for domain style, mass combat, and settlement and crafting systems, be welcome to join my Discord community, and I can help coach you through anything that's not obvious in the playtest document. Here's a bunch of material I've already published on the DMsGuild. It all has free previews, so be welcome to check that stuff out. Clicking on the playtest document, popping that open. This is going to be a read-only document for anyone that tunes into the stream. Here's a backup set of Bastion. We might need to reference other pages inside the document, so I'm just cracking open a second window. Here's all the In Command stuff. No, that's Bastion campaigns. Here's the In Command stuff. We started this back in February in 2022. Jesus, it's been a long time. But this is when we first started firing up all these mechanics to run it. But now that we have the Bastion campaign, we've been able to basically reformat all those mechanics into the 5e24 format. So I'm going to take this window and drop it down here so it's out of the way. And when we last left off, we were working on Sieges and Sabotage. Previous two episodes, this is episode 3 of Armies, Sieges, and Sabotage. In session 1, Monday last week, we resolved the mechanics for the size, scale, and damage and hit points that armies have when they're marching on each other, as well as being able to maintain the lifestyle or create a supply chain to keep provisions and resources to the army while they're on the march. We defined how settlement, how an army that's settling is able to unfurl facilities like smithies to repair armor and stuff, and stables to be able to work on animals and to harvest them for food and materials. So we figured out all the logistics that go into having an army. And then Thursday last week in episode 2, we went through the process of how combat between armies and bastions/settlements operates. So we figured out the mechanics behind that of attacking, defending, and recovering. Attacking, defending. So like when two armies attack each other, you don't need to make an attack roll. You just damage each other because you've got dozens, hundreds, or thousands of people clashing into each other to damage each other. You're not going to miss. But when an army sieges a bastion or a settlement, you have to get over the defenses that the bastion has based on the rank of the rank of the bastion itself. So if the attacking army can make an attack roll and hit the DC, then you can deal damage. And when an army attacks, whether that army hits or not, the bastion can retaliate and attack as though we're an army. It doesn't have to make an attack roll. It will automatically hit. And every time you hit an army and deal damage to it, it erodes bastion points from the total collective size of the army. And the scale of troops that you have and the number of bastion points that you have determines the number of troops that you have. So a third rank army that has at least 21 bastion points invested into it will start off with 100 troops, and for every additional bastion point that you invest, up to 30 bastion points will take you from 100 to 1,000 troops in your army. And it has an effective reach of 5 miles. So on a larger map, anything that's within 5 miles of that army can be attacked without having to take any extra actions to close distance with them. And then as you continue scaling up, if you exceed 30 points, you become a 4th rank army. So if you don't have a 4th rank commander, you aren't going to be able to rally and maintain an army of that size. So you can only maintain an army equal to the rank of your characters. If you have a narrative where like a half CR prince, child prince has command of an army of 100,000 troops, it's not the prince that has command, it's the kingdom is its 5th rank, even though the prince would only be a 1st rank less than 1 CR creature. It's not the force of the prince that's maintaining that massive army. It's the weight of the kingdom that the prince represents, or that the prince basically has domain over, that is maintaining that army. So narratively, you have this child prince, but the organization that you're facing, regardless of what the prince's orders are, the organization is operating as a 5th rank settlement or bastion that's capable of commanding. For each bastion point, once you have 41 points invested into your army, it's worth 10,000 soldiers per point. So an army of 100,000 soldiers would be 50 bastion points. And so it would have effectively 50 hit points. So if you were to face an army that doesn't have at least 10,000 troops in it, then this 100,000 man army is automatically going to destroy anything of a lower rank than it. So you have to match the same rank of power with the same rank of power. Otherwise, the scale is so different that one army just crushes the other. So when you're looking at that, you have to scale in comparison. Now, a bastion or a settlement could be a lower rank than the army and still be able to survive, because that army has to hit the DC to actually damage or to siege the bastion or the settlement that they're attacking. And if they fail the roll, they're not going to deal any damage. Meanwhile, the siege of the defending bastion can deal damage and potentially whittle down tons of troops as they throw themselves against the wall. So that's the loose narrative, and it's just a loose mechanical system. If we want something that's more mechanically in depth for mobilizing lots of people and troops, then you can look at the Spelljammer Combat and Exploration document that we built for commanding squadrons of ships and fleets of vessels. And those mechanics, we're going to, once we get this out, we're going to basically reverse engineer that down into just commanding armies. That's about a 20-25 page mechanical breakdown of how spellcasting, movement, and combat mechanics in 5e can operate at the 50, 500, and 5,000 or 1 mile scale on a battlefield, which is how the Spelljammer Combat and Exploration document works. But while Spelljammers is individual ships that are tens or hundreds of feet in size, the army mechanics that we have is basically like squads or battalions of troops that are tens or hundreds or even legions of thousands of troops in a single unit of army. So the mechanics are very similar to Spelljammer Combat and Exploration, but the narrative isn't a whole bunch of people on a single ship. It's a whole bunch of people in a single unit of a single combat unit. But otherwise, the mechanics are incredibly similar to what is already present in the combat and exploration mechanics. So we'll be getting back to that eventually, but for now, we're just using an ability check system to be able to resolve armies, sieges, and sabotage. The Spelljammer Combat and Exploration book is a 5e combat system that resolves large-scale battles. So there's a difference there. It's a difference of how much of attention do you want to pay to the conflict. So we've gone through how the army, the logistics work, how combat works between armies and bastions, or settlements, and now we are getting down into organizing armies and units, sieges and sabotage. So sieges, there are unique orders that can be issued to armies, armies, bastions, and settlements. Attacking damages troops and facilities within reach of an army. I don't need to. There we go. Attacking is when an army damages troops and facilities. Defending is when a bastion or a settlement. We should probably list this as a bastion or settlement damaging troops in an attacking army. And then recover is to regain bastion points at the end of a bastion turn. So armies can move and attack targets within reach but cannot defend. Bastions and settlements cannot move, have no reach, but can defend against army attacks. And bastions, settlements, and armies that are settled can recover. So you can only recover hit points while your army is settled. Bastions and settlements are always settled; they're settlements, so they can always recover. So you can recover and defend at the same time, while an army can only attack, or once it retreats, it can settle and then start to heal. So you have that difference. The attacker is the one that has to basically keep themselves safe, while settlements and bastions start off already as safe, unless again the army is capable of breaching the difficulty check of the DC of the army. Again, looking at that table, which is here, and again these here it is, settlement. If you only have 10, that's bastion. It's not actually a settlement. It's just a bastion. Then you have hamlets, have up to 100 troops. Villages up to 1,000. Towns up to 10,000, and cities 10,000 or more troops. The DC to attack these different. This is in solo. I'm on the wrong table. This is in the scouting rules. Where did I want to be? I wanted to be in attacking. This was the settling stuff, moving, organizing units, sieges. There we go, attacking. Here you go. So the rank of the bastion or settlement that you attack These are the effective DCs for each rank in defending themselves. So if the army can't hit that DC, they can't damage their target with that order, but you can issue multiple orders. And every time an army attacks, the settlement or bastion can issue an order in retaliation. Assuming you haven't spent all of your orders on, crafting other random facility options or in defending, you can then recover as well. So plunder is a mechanic that when you damage a settlement or a bastion, instead of destroying the resources within that facility or within that community, you take them to basically feed your army if you don't have a supply chain established. Dealing damage, sieges, attack, plunder, coup. Hold on, I'm whittling through the mechanics here real quick. I'm re-familiarizing myself with the document here with you guys real time. Give me a hot second, we'll be back up to speed. So we have attacks, and then we need defend. I could swear we have defend somewhere already. Where the hell is defend? We have dealing damage, we have recovering, we have plundering, sabotage, attacking. Maybe it's defending. The rank of a bastion determines its defense class. Nope, that's irrelevant information now. Repairing. Okay, so this is where we are. Attack, defend. When a bastion or settlement is attacked by an army, the bastion can issue defenders of the bastion settlement. The defenders can issue. You can issue an order to defend, which deals damage to the attacking army. You can defend a number. You can defend each. What's the words? Each time an army attacks, the order to defend can be issued as well. To retaliate. If a bastion or settlement is unable to issue the defend order, the attacking army takes no damage from their attack. The army takes no damage. The army takes no damage from while attacking. Takes no damage during this attack. During the undefended attack. Deal damage to the target as detailed below. Each time an army attacks, the order to defend can be issued to retaliate. If a bastion or settlement is unable to issue the defend order, the army takes let's see. Whenever the defend order is issued, deal damage to the army, the target army as detailed below. Deal damage to the target as detailed below. If the bastion or settlement is unable to issue the defend order, the army takes no damage during the undefended attack. Thank you, Timer. Dealing damage. If one army outscales or outranks the other let's word this like this. When two armies, when armies attack each other, if one outscales and outranks the other by 2 or more degrees, when armies attack each other, if one outscales and outranks the other by 2 or more degrees, the target the lesser, that's not the right language, but we're going to use it for now, the lesser army is automatically destroyed without the larger army taking damage. When an army bastion or settlement deals damage to a target of both sufficient rank and scale to not be immediately destroyed. Let's see, when an army when dealing damage, roll a bastion die for the scale of the army and for the rank of the army. For the scale and rank of the army, add the rank of the army to the higher results. The amount damaged as the armies attack each other. Dealing damage when armies. So I have to parse out dealing damage, and I want to be able to separate between armies attacking armies and armies attacking bastions. How that works differently. So when armies attack each other, if one outscales and outranks the other by 2 or more degrees, the lesser army is automatically destroyed without the larger army taking damage. I feel like that should be up here, separating units from armies, organizing armies into units, sieges, attack. When an army is issued the attack action, it can target an army or a bastion. If the bastion check succeeds, when attacking another army, the order succeeds without making a bastion check, dealing damage to the target is detailed below. Let's see, an army can attack multiple times. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Let's separate these into separate statements. When armies attack each other, if one outscales and outranks the other by 2 or more degrees, the lesser army is automatically destroyed without the larger army taking damage. Otherwise, when an army is issued the attack action, it can target any army, bastion, or settlement within reach. An army can attack multiple times per bastion turn, expending an order with each attack. When an army attacks another army, if the army outscales and outranks the target by 2 or more degrees and outranks the army by 2 or more degrees, the target is automatically destroyed without the larger army taking damage. Otherwise, when an army attacks another, the target can when an army attacks another army, when an army attacks, if the target army is able to issue the target army can issue an attack command, an attack order to in retaliation to the in retaliation, period. Yeah, when armies attack other armies, let's see, when attacking other armies, when an army attacks another, it deals damage to the target as detailed below. When an army attacks a bastion or settlement, comma, make a bastion check to overcome the defenses of the target, period. The DC to successfully attack a bastion or settlement is equal to the rank of the target. Target rank, there you go. If the bastion check succeeds, deal damage to the target as detailed below. And then we have the defend action. So when a bastion or settlement is attacked by an army, you can issue an order to defend, which deals damage to the attacking army. Each time an army attacks, the order to defend can be issued to retaliate. Let's see, each time an army attacks, the order to defend can, when a bastion or settlement is attacked by an army, you can issue an order to defend, comma, automatically dealing damage to the attacking army as detailed below. If a bastion or settlement is unable to issue the defend order, the army takes no damage during the undefended attack. Dealing damage. When bastions or settlements deal damage, let's see. Dealing damage. When dealing damage, there we go. When dealing damage, roll a bastion die for the scale of army and the rank of the army. When an army bastion or settlement deals damage, roll a bastion die for the scale and the rank. When an army bastion king or settlement deals damage, roll a bastion die for both the scale and the rank. For the scale and the rank of the army bastion. We need better language. Of the army bastion or settlement, and add the rank of the army to the highest result. So rank slash so rank and scale. So if you have a first rank army of like say 500 troops, you would roll a d4 for the rank of the army and a 3 for and a d8 for the third. So you'd roll a d8 and a d4, and you would add the rank, which is in this case 1. So you'd add 1 plus d4 or d8. And or the add and add. and the rank of the Army Bastion Kingdom. Comma. Adding the higher roll to the Bastion check. Army Bastion deal damage. Roll a Bastion check. Make a Bastion check. Make a Bastion check. Rolling a die for both the scale and the rank of the ABS. Adding the higher roll to the Bastion check. Period. Add the higher roll to the rank of the ABS. To the D20 roll. Add the higher Bastion die result to the rank of the ABS and the D20 roll. Not the best language, but it's a D20 plus your rank plus the Bastion die for your rank and the Bastion die for the scale of your army and units. For example, an army of 10 Driders is 3rd rank and it's 1st rank scale. So up to 10 troops is 1st rank, and then 3rd rank is based on their CR. A CR8 is the tops for CR3 is CR1, CR4, it's a CR1, CR5, CR9, CR13 up to 4th rank, and then anything above CR13 is considered 5th rank. So Driders being CR8, that is a 3rd rank troop, and the scale of them is only 10, so that's within the within 1st rank. That's the 1st degree of scale. And so when dealing damage, the Driders would roll a D4 for its scale and D8 for its rank. That's gonna actually, we'll keep that. And D8 for its rank. Adding the higher number to its rank of 3 because it's Driders, 3rd rank. An army of 400 1st rank troops is 3rd rank. An army of 400 1st rank troops is 3rd scale. That's not the best language, but this is why we hire editors and writers. An army of 400 1st rank troops is 3rd scale. When dealing damage, the army rolls D8 for its scale, because it's 3, and D4 for its CR rank, adding the higher number rolled to its rank of D of 1. The amount of damage dealt reduces the total number. When an army bastion or settlement deals damage. I made that mistake. Rolling a die for both the scale and the rank of ABS, comma, adding the higher result to the rank of the ABS. For example, an army of 10 Driders, 3rd rank, is a D8, so it'd be a D8, whatever the result is, D8 plus 3. And then for the army of 400 troops, it'd be D8, D4 plus 1. So you can see that 10 Driders is equal in power, roughly, to 400 1st rank troops, which you could argue is legit. That is a legitimate argue that you can make. A squad of 10 CR8 Driders facing off against 4 CR1/4 human soldiers, you can expect a slaughter of the Driders just mowing through troops. That is to be expected, and this is a very simple mechanic that expresses that. So, but there's so many troops that they can hold against the swarm against the squad of Driders, but the Driders have the +3 while the troops only have the +1 because of the difference in rank. The Driders have the edge over this, and the amount of hit points that Driders can take is considerably more than the troops, as we looked at in the logistics up above. If the army attacks each other again, so if the first rank army deals 8 points of damage to the Drider army, the Drider is reduced to 22 points, rounded up to 24 points, and the army loses 2 Driders. If the armies attack each other again, the Driders roll 1d4 and 1d8 again, adding the higher result to 3, while the first rank troops now roll 1d4 for the CR and 1d6, 10 Driders, 15 points, reducing the size of the army from the amount of damage dealt reduces the total number of Bastion points the target has. We'll make this a separate thing. For example, if an army of 400 first-rank troops and with 24 Bastion points takes 9 points of damage from an army of 10 Driders with 30 Bastion points, the first-rank army has 15 Bastion points left, reducing the size of the army from 400 now down to only 50. A scale of second of second scale. If the first rank army deals 8 points of damage to the Drider army, the Driders are reduced to 22 points out of their 30, and that's going to round up to 24 points, and the army loses 2, because each Drider is worth 3 Bastion points. So because it's third rank, the number of points that you put into your army to increase the scale of your army, you multiply that by the rank of the troops in the army to determine how many Bastion points they actually have of damage that they can take, and then you whittle down those. For the Driders, you have to deal 3 points of damage to reduce their effective scale by 1. So if the army attacks each other, so while the army of 400 troops was able to deal 8 points of damage, that only effectively kills 2 Driders, because each Drider has 3 points, and that's only 8 points. It's not enough to kill 3 Driders. So those 350 men sacrificed their lives to kill 2 Driders, and now we have the next round. And the Driders will attack again, and there's only 50 troops left, so they're rolling a d4 and a d6 now at second scale, while the Driders are still third rank and are still first scale. So they're still rolling a d8 and a d4, and then adding the highest result to 3, while the army of CR14 soldiers is now only rolling a d4 and a d6 and adding that to 1. So if the armies attack each other again, the Driders roll 1d4 and 1d8 again, adding the higher result to 3, while the first rank troop now rolls d4 for the CR and d6 for the reduced scale of second scale. For the reduced second scale. Being reduced to second scale, adding the higher result to 1. There you go. When the army damages d4, d6, d9, at most the first rank troops could deal 9 Bastion points, which will kill 3 Driders. The Driders can deal up. The Driders only need to deal the Driders can deal up to 11 points of damage. Killing all but 4 soldiers. Tell me timer. So there you go. Obviously, there's a massive difference in although the numbers scale the same in damage, one team, the Driders, can take significantly more damage and has more endurance than the first-ranked soldiers that are trying to stand against them. It's maybe 40 troops could bring down a Drider. I think that's realistic that they could, but it's just a matter of momentum. The 10 Driders crashing into a line is just going to mow through shitloads of troops. They'll eventually grind them to a stop and drop a few of them. But if the battle continues, they're just going to continue just sweeping through all the human troops, and they're just going to get killed. So so when you have armies that are facing against each other like that, that's why like the scale of army of the human side was within scale of the Drider's rank, and the rank of the human army was in scale with the number of Driders that they were facing, but it was never really an equal match. If the Driders rolled horribly and the human troops rolled fantastic, they could have potentially killed off 3 Driders from the jump, but they still would have had to survive a number. They had 30 points. That's a lot of freaking points. Anyway, I think you guys get the point. If you have questions about that or want to run through some more scenarios, you are welcome to join my Discord channel down below, and we can play with hypotheticals and set up some armies. So plundering. When an army damages a bastion or settlement, issuing the plunder order converts damage deal. Let's actually go up here and sieges. There are unique orders that can be issued to armies, bastions, and settlements. Attack, defend. Let's go to plunder. Armies that damage a settlement, a bastion or settlement. Armies that damage a bastion or settlement can can take the bastion, the lost bastion points, and armies that damage a bastion can convert the damage into provisions and supplies. Armies that damage a bastion settlement can use the can gain bastion points for provisions and supplies. There we go. Attack, defend, plunder, recover. Attack, defend, plunder. When an army damages a bastion or settlement, bastion, settlement, or settled army, settled army, the plunder order can be issued with the attack order to convert damage dealt to the target into bastion points that are expended into temporary bastion points that can be used until the end of the next bastion turn to period. If the target settlement is of equal rank to the scale of the army, if the target is equal rank, equal or greater rank, is equal or greater rank, equal or greater rank. Oh, wait, sorry. If the target is equal or greater scale than the attacking army, the damage dealt, the total damage dealt is converted to Bastion points. If the target is a lower rank, is a lower scale, the amount of Bastion points plundered is equal to the damage dealt or the rank of the target, whichever is higher. So if a army of 10,000 troops attacks a hamlet of 50 people and deals 12 Bastion points of damage, that hamlet's only first rank. It's only going to provide 1 Bastion point to that army of 10,000 soldiers. That's either a 4th or a 5th rank army. That hamlet with 50 people in it isn't going to provide shit for the needs of that Bastion. So it's going to last for the next round, and it's only 1 point. If you happen to need 1 point worth of resources to keep to maintain the health of your troops, then fantastic, there's your point. Otherwise, you're going to have to find a source of points somewhere else to be able to feed your troops. Recover. Let's see. When an army when damage is taken, the recover order can be issued to repair and replace losses. A bastion or settlement let's see, bastion and settlement is going to be easier. A bastion or settlement that is damaged makes a bastion check to repair. Wait a second. For example, damaging armies. If an army of 400 first rank troops attack a town, the army must make a Bastion check, DC 20, to successfully damage the settlement. If let's word this differently. Example: damaging a blah blah blah. If an army of 400 first-rank troops attacks a third-rank town, if a second scale, if a scale 2 army of 400 rank 1 troops scale and rank. There we go. If a maybe we should do this. If a rank 1 army of scale 2 no, scale than rank. I think that language sounds better. If a scale 2 army of 400 rank 1 troops attacks a third rank town, the army rolls 1d4 and 1d6. Sorry, 1d8. A scale, because that's a scale 3 army. Sorry. 10. No, it's 2. Nope, that's 3. Sorry. Scale 3 army. Its single digits are 1, double digits are 2, 3 digits are 3rd rank, 4 digits are 4th rank, and then 5th rank it scales. 5th rank is 5 digits is 5th rank. And 1d8. If the army rolls 1d4 and 1d8, adding the highest adding the higher result to 1. Rank 1. If the amount of damage dealt is 5 points, the Bastion settlement reduces the total number of Bastion points available by 5. The Bastion, the defending the target Bastion settlement determines where those 5 determines what those 5 points represent. For example, a 3rd rank settlement with 3rd rank settlement with let's say 1 to 10, 11 to 20, with 24 Bastion points expended. A 3rd rank settlement with 24 Bastion points has let's say 6 rank 3 facilities. That takes us to 18 points. Has their points divided into so for example, a third rank settlement with 24 Bastion points has their points divided between let's say barracks, rank 2 barracks, rank 3 government. Let's do it like this. Facilities. Rank 2 barracks, rank 3 government, R3 storehouse, R3 storehouse, R3 equals, let's say, stables. 2 equals R2 workshop. 3 equals R3 guild hall. Like that. 2, 4, 10, 16. Let's see, and then we have maintain. Let's see, sustained. Facilities. Three equals comfortable. Let's go with 4 equals wealthy lifestyle for the wealthy lifestyle maximum. Wealthy lifestyle for the entire settlement. That takes us to 22 points, and then remainder. Two equals unused points for issuing additional orders, such as defend. Or to resolve complications. There you go. So that's our 24-point breakdown. 18 points went to facilities. 4 points went to a wealthy lifestyle being maintained for the town, which means that anybody in the town can has resources available to them if they can afford them, up to wealthy resources. It doesn't mean that you automatically have wealthy resources. It just means that anybody in the settlement could get access to something that would be reasonable for a wealthy lifestyle to have access to, which is pretty good for a town. And then the remaining points is unused wealthy lifestyle for 1 month. Waiting 2. Example, damaging bastions. If a scale 3 let's see. Army, the amount of damage dealt reduces the total number of bastion points the target has. Hey, what's up? Hey, Steve, it's good to see you. Gotta have those resources. Yeah, no shit, man. The more resources, the better. But the more resources you have, the higher it pushes the rank of your settlement or your bastion. So it starts drawing more attention, and you can't really make use of the higher rank unless it's properly populated, if it's a settlement, or has appropriate hirelings to be able to operate the facilities within that bastion. So I don't want it to get too complicated, but you need hirelings. So you need rank to gain ranks. You need bastion points to pay for that rank. You need the space to be able to cover the area, and then you need the number of hirelings to be able to operate the facilities and the bastion as a whole. In a settlement, you need to have the number of points, a government equal to the rank that you want to oversee operations, and then a population large enough to meet the scale of that settlement. Hamlets are up to 100 people, villages are up to 1,000 people, 100, 1,000, 10,000 for a town, 100,000 for a city, and if you get over 100,000 people, then you have a metropolis. But to be able to maintain, to be able to oversee and mitigate orders for a population over 100,000, you have to have a 5th rank government that is large enough to be able to actually effectively govern that amount of people. Copy. Yep. So it's a little complicated, but there's only like those three degrees. There's only three degrees of depth in this system. It doesn't get more deep than three tiers. So you have the initial concept, and then the support layer, and then basically the underlying mass of people one way or another. So, but we're still sussing out the language of how to make that work smoothly. This is just mechanics. We're probably going to hire somebody or spend a lot of downtime off screen figuring out how to make this stuff wordsmith real well so it becomes really clear. I've had a lot of good success in hiring co-writers in the past. I may have similar luck with this one as well if everything stays true. So, 1 second. Example: damaging bastions. If a dealing damage when an army, bastion, or settlement deals damage, make a bastion check, rolling a die for both the scale and the rank of the ABS, adding the higher result to the rank of the army, bastion, or settlement. If an army attacks each other again, it deals damage. Example: damaging bastions and settlements. If a scale 3 army of 400 rank 1 troops attack a 3rd rank town, the army rolls 1d4 and 1d8, adding the higher result to 1. If the amount of damage dealt is 5 points, the bastion settlement reduces the total number of bastion points available by 5. The target bastion settlement determines what those 5 points represent. For example, a 3rd rank settlement with 24 bastion points has their points divided between facilities, 18 points, sustained, 4 points, and remaining 2 points, potentially to such as to issue, defend, or each time you issue an additional order, it costs a point to do so. So having extra points laying around not being used for some reason is helpful. Like if you're attacked, you can issue the defend order that we just discussed to retaliate against the attackers, to punish them, and potentially drive them away from dealing more than damage once. Remainder. Let's see. Since the town takes 5 damage, let's see, the government, since the town takes 5 damage, it's the since the target it can choose what how the damage is distributed. Such as reducing the current rank of the guild hall, stables, and storehouse to rank 2, total 3 points of damage, and reduces the lifestyle and reduces the lifestyle to poor. What? Wealthy, comfortable, modest to modest. Total 2 points. This leaves the barracks and workshop undamaged, and retains 2 unused points to issue the defend or recover orders to issue the defend order, to retaliate, or defend order to, or the recover order to repair the damage dealt to the settlement. There. That's how it works. To issue orders such as the defend order as detailed above, or the recover order detailed below. So far, so good. Click, click, boom. So we have that is attack, defend, dealing damage, plundering, which is converting damage into temporary bastion points that can be consumed for resources, provisions, or additional orders. And now we have the recover order. When damage is taken, the recover order can be issued to repair. The recover order can be issued to repair damage to facilities, the recover order restores bastion points lost. The recover order restores bastion points lost due to attacks. Armies can heal or replace troops. Bastions and settlements can repair and replenish, can repair facilities and replenish provisions and resources to maintain repair facilities and replenish and what's the word I want to use? Bastions can repair facilities and regain unused points. Yeah, I guess that's the word to use. We don't have good language yet for unused points. I guess that's the word we're using right now. What's the word we use up here? On remaining points. And regain any unused points that remain. If a sustained task, if a sustained order, if a lifestyle or a sustained order loses Bastion points, the a new order must be issued next Bastion turn to continue to re-establish the lifestyle or to continue any previous sustained orders. So like when you at each Bastion turn you have to roll a lifestyle. We talked about this before. When every Bastion turn, a Bastion or a settlement has to roll a Bastion check to determine the level of lifestyle that they're currently capable of maintaining there for their community. Once you hit a lifestyle that you like, you can spend points to sustain that lifestyle and not have to roll again. And the duration is dependent on the rank of the facility, of the Bastion or the settlement. Like a Metropolis, 5th rank, can sustain a lifestyle indefinitely. You never have to roll again unless it gets disrupted. So if Waterdeep were attacked by a flight of dragons and they decide that fatiguing their lifestyle from being aristocratic down to, say, comfortable is the best way to deal with the damage that they're taking, then if they want to regain, they're sustaining an aristocratic lifestyle indefinitely with 5 Bastion points, and they decide to damage the city by taking 2 points off of the lifestyle that's being sustained. That's going to knock it down from aristocratic to wealthy down to comfortable. And now the whole city can only at best maintain a comfortable lifestyle until each Bastion turn, Waterdeep is able to hit that DC 25 or 30 to increase the lifestyle again. And once they do, they can spend those points again to re-establish that higher level of lifestyle. And again, in a settlement, the lifestyle that you're sustaining for the community is the level of opulence that you're capable of furnishing to anybody within that settlement without them having to establish a new trade route to somebody external. So inside Waterdeep, there's enough resources, skilled labor, and opportunities for anyone to be able to create and maintain a wealthy lifestyle for themselves within Waterdeep. Obviously, you can do that. The city itself is sustaining these points to present the opportunity for you to have that level of lifestyle inside the city. It's up to you as an individual paying coin or as a Bastion inside of Waterdeep to attain that level of lifestyle and to sustain it for yourself. So if it were to expend 2 points and drop that down, it's going to fatigue the lifestyle for basically everybody there. Like while you're under attack by a flight of dragons, you just simply can't find objects that are worth 200,000 gold in value. Those type of vendors aren't sticking around for the dragonflight attacks. Once they leave and you reestablish control and reestablish that aristocratic lifestyle, they will have returned and be able to provide that level of commerce and trade inside of your community. So there's a lot of common sense that kind of floats along with this system. It takes a couple steps to get there, and we're trying to work out what's the smoothest path to get from the crunchy mechanics to the narrative. Like, how can we bridge that with the least amount of static for the ideas and mechanics that reinforce and underpin that narrative, the Ludo narrative. That's what we're working on. So, but the mechanics work. It's just a matter of how can I express them so that they're easy to understand. Because I don't think I'm necessarily making them easy to understand yet. But this is geopolitics boiled down to a skill check. There's going to be some complexity in the explanation because the mechanics of doing it aren't difficult. So when you design a system, it can either be a very simple described system with a ton of steps that go along the way, so the narrative stays simple because each step is individually narrated. Or you can simplify the mechanics, the number of steps you have to take, which increases the complexity of the narrative. It's very rare that you can have both a simple narrative with simple mechanics that doesn't allow for much depth. Or you can have very mechanically complicated and very narratively complicated mechanics that will allow for a lot of variables and a lot of customization, like Pathfinder 2, GURPS. Those are on the very high end of both narrative and mechanical work. While Shadowdark, for instance, is pretty low on the spectrum of mechanical complexity and narrative complexity. BECMI, BX, it has more complexity in system design than a narrative. The ideas behind the narrative of BECMI is relatively simple, but it has all sorts of different mechanical systems to do with each piece of narrative. So it's lower narrative, higher complexity. As opposed to, like, say, Fate. Fate is mechanically simple, an incredibly difficult narrative because you have to create the language for what each type of die roll and your boons and fates and all the shit that goes into the die rolls of Fate. The die rolls stay the same, but what those die rolls represent will change based on the campaign and each character in the campaign. So it has a higher narrative complexity while the mechanics of it are very simple. So you have to bridge the gap in Fate in the Fate game by building up a lot of context and a lot of session zero for everyone to agree what do these Fate mechanics represent in this particular game. Pirate Borg. I don't know a lot about Nortborg, but I believe it's very low narrative and very low mechanical complexity. So it doesn't take a lot to make a game of Nortborg run from a narrative perspective. That's why it's so easy to build so many different types of Pirate Borg, Cyborg, X-Borg, whatever. There's all these different Borg derivatives coming up because the mechanics are so simple and the base narrative of Nortborg is also incredibly simple. So like those are different scales that you can like compare that theory that I'm presenting here for you. So tangent. So that's recovering. The recover order restores Bastion points lost due to attacks. Armies can heal or replace troops. Bastions and settlements can repair facilities and regain unused points. And unused points. Period. Here we go. Recovering troops. Let's see. Armies can only recover troops while settled or while occupying a settlement. The scale, the size of settlement and time required to recover troops is determined by the scale of the army. Max rank of troops, max scale. Lifestyle per rank. An army must maintain a minimum lifestyle determined by the rank of the army. Otherwise, nope, that's not accurate. Recovering troops. Heals a number of BP equal to the rank of lifestyle maintained for the army. Let's see. Max rank of troops is equal to the rank. Armies can only recover troops while settled or while occupying a settlement. The size of settlement and time required to recover troops is determined by the scale of the army. So scale should be here. Troops 1 to 10, 10 to 100, up to 10, thousand, 10,000, 10,001 plus. There. Let's see. And I don't think I need to have lifestyle listed here. That's irrelevant. Let's see. Armies can only recover troops while settled or occupying a settlement. The size of settlement. The size of settlement and time required to recover troops is determined by the scale of the army. Scale 1, 2, 3, 4. Troops up to 10, up to 100, up to 1,000, up to 10,000, up to more than 10,000. Max rank of troops is equal to. Yeah, I don't need lifestyle listed here. Troops. Very simple. Armies can only recover troops while settled or while occupying a settlement. The size of a settlement. If the duration exceeds 1 Bastion turn, the army must sustain the recover order or the size of settlement and time required. Yeah, if the duration exceeds 1 Bastion turn, the army must sustain the recover order with a number of Bastion points equal to the rank, scale, or rank of the troops let's do this. Rank or scale. Recover points. Recovered. Minimum settlement. This will make sense. Okay, the size of settlement and time required to recover troop is determined by the scale, the rank or scale of the army, whichever is higher. So if I have a troop of 10 third rank soldiers, I'm going to have to be here in a town, and it's going to take me at least a week to recover X amount of points. And at third rank, each, if I deal 3 points of damage to a third rank army, they lose 1 Bastion point worth of troops in that army. If a first rank army loses 3 points, they lose 3 Bastion points of scale in that army, because the third rank is worth 3 times the amount than a first rank, which we talked about with the Driders and the troops up above. The size of settlement and time required to recover troops is determined by the rank and scale of the army. The duration, if the duration, let's see, the duration exceeds the troops. When an army recovers points, recalculate the size of the army as detailed above, as detailed in recruiting. And recruiting and army. There. Creating an army, maintaining an army. Let's see. To command an army, the troops must first be recruited, then the infrastructure to to organize, and then the see, to command an army, the troops must first be recruited, then they must be organized and maintained. Recruiting an army, maintaining an army. There we go. Mobilize an army, summoning an army, mobile facilities, variant, research order, scouting, organizing armies and units. Into smaller units. Separating units from an army altogether requires its own infrastructure. Sieges and sabotage. Sieges, attacking, defending, dealing damage, plunder, recover. The recover order restores bastion points lost due to attacks. Armies can heal or replace troops. Bastions and settlements can repair facilities and regain any unused points. If a lifestyle or a sustained order loses bastion points, a new order must be issued next bastion turn. A new order must be issued to reestablish the lifestyle or to continue any previously sustained orders. The prior lifestyle or to continue any previously sustained orders. Thank you. Recovering troops. Armies can only recover troops while settled or while occupying a settlement. The size of settlement and time required to recover troops is determined by the rank of the army, whichever is higher. Rank or scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Troops, recover duration, points recovered, minimum settlement. Recovered, actually we should probably go with minimum settlement first. This might seem nitpicky. Hamlet, not Thorpe. Village. Town. City. Metropolis. I see us using many tables in this document. Like, if you want third-ranked troops, you just aren't going to find a lot, unless the DM says otherwise. And we already caveated above that. Of course, the DM can always decide if something is available in an area. But generally speaking, if you want third-ranked troops, you're going to have to go to at least a town to find them. And each rank, the third rank, each point is worth 3 times the value. So if you can get up to, say, if you get 11 points, roll d8 plus 3. If you roll 11 points, then you're going to round that down to the nearest third. So that's going to be 9 points. That's divided by, that's only 3 points recovered on the grand scale of troops. A first rank a third rank army of, say, 7 troops that lost 3 of those troops, you need 9 bastion points to get all 9 points needed to get those 3 troops back, because each one of those soldiers is worth 3 bastion points. So if I had a troop of, what I say, 9, so that'd be 21. That'd be a total of 21 bastion points for 7 third-ranked troops. Meanwhile, what did I say? What was that? 27? Jesus, 27 points. That would be all of first, all of second. 21, 20, that'd be 700 first-ranked troops. So I could either have 7 first-ranked troops or 7 third-ranked troops or 700 first-ranked troops. But in either circumstance, those 27 points, I would have to get that scale of army from a town. And it would take a minimum of 1 week to roll 1d8 plus 3 once. And if all I have is in a Bastion turn is 1 week, so after the end of that Bastion turn, if that's all the points that I got, that might not be enough for me to completely recover my army. I might have to roll out with just less army now. As long as an army that is settled can maintain and sustain itself in place like that, it will naturally start attracting people to that army because it's assumed that you're putting out the order to recover troops. So armies can only recover troops when settled or while occupying a settlement. Points recovered. The size of settlement and time required to recover troops is determined by the rank of the scale of the army, whichever is higher. The size of settlement and the size of settlement, comma, time required, and DC to recover troops is determined by the rank and scale of the army. Recruit DC 10, 15, 20, say it with me, 25, 30. Issue the recruit order to recover troops. If the Bastion check fails, no points are recovered, and a complication occurs. So this should technically be here. Recruit DC. It's pretty easy to find unskilled labor that's willing to pick up a sword for a coin, but to find a third rank veteran that knows what the hell they're doing and can potentially win the war for you alone, that's gonna potentially be difficult to do. And that's what the difficulty check represents. There we go. Now we're back up to par. And that difficulty roll is representing like how easy is it for you to get those veterans, or how easy is it for you to amass hundreds of troops. That's where that's where this difficulty is coming from. And of course, like everything else, if it fails, then you create a complication. Once you resolve the complication, you succeed the check, and you'll get your recover. You'll get your recover points. And DC to recover troops. Armies can only be recovered the size of the troop if the duration to recover exceeds 1 Bastion turn. Actually, it should be like this. There. Because until you can successfully hit the DC that you need, you're going to have to keep making orders each Bastion turn, unless you are able to resolve the complication. If the duration to recover exceeds 1 Bastion turn, the army must sustain the recover order. Number of Bastion points equal to the scale or rank of the troops, whichever is higher. When an army recovers points, recalculate the size of the army. Let's see, recovering troops. Armies recovering troops. Bastions and settlements recovering points. When a bastion or settlement, including an army that is settled, a bastion or settlement, including an army that is settled, can recover bastion point. Can recover lost bastion points. Can recover bastion points by issuing the craft order to the damaged ABS. I need a word that encompasses both bastions and settlements, because they're technically the same. But I mean, a settlement's like a facility. Like, that's how it's framed. But I just need a word for both bastion and settlement. Maybe community. That's not quite right. By issuing the craft order. By issuing the craft order to the bastion or govern to the bastion. A bastion or settlement can recover bastion points by recovering the craft order to the bastion, period. Let's see. It's the... Oh, there we go. The number of points that can be recovered in one bastion turn per order is determined by the rank of the bastion and the level and the lifestyle maintained. Rank, minimum. Let's go with bastion rank and minimum lifestyle. Poor, modest, wealthy, comfortable, wealthy, aristocratic. The number of points that can be recovered in one bastion turn per order is determined by the rank of the bastion and the lifestyle maintained. Bop and bop. Minimum lifestyle, recovered points. $1d4 plus 1, 1d6 plus 2, 1d8 plus 3, 1d10 plus 4, 1d12 plus 5. For example, recovered points craft DC 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. For example, a 4th rank Bastion that is maintaining a comfortable lifestyle can the number of points that can be recovered in one Bastion turn per order is determined. The maximum number of points that can be recovered in one Bastion turn per order is determined by the rank of the Bastion and the lifestyle maintained. Issue the craft order if the result is less than 10, a complication occurs. Otherwise, the amount of damage recovered corresponds to the resulting Bastion check. For example, a 4th rank Bastion that is maintaining a comfortable lifestyle can recover up to 1d8 plus 3 Bastion points if the craft check is equal to or more than 20. If the Bastion can establish a wealthy or aristocratic lifestyle, it can instead recover up to 1d10 plus 4 Bastion points if the craft check is result is 25 or more. Period. If instead the Bastion rolls a 14, the results are poor. Recovering only 1d4 plus 1 Bastion points. If the result was below 10, not only are no Bastion points recovered, but a complication occurs. But you can issue and you can issue multiple orders as usual. So, cover, plunder, recover. Armies can only recover troops while settled or occupying a settlement. The size of settlement, times required, and DC to recover troops is determined by the rank and scale of the army. This order can be issued multiple times per turn. This order can be issued multiple times, period. Each turn. multiple times each turn. Now you only have so many orders before you have to start using Bastion points, and you're already missing Bastion points to begin with. So you may not have any spare left over, or if you were smart, you sacked, like a Bastion might sack a bunch of facilities, so you specifically have spare points still laying around, so that when you issue the craft order to repair, you have multiple orders that you can issue to recover quickly. That's recovering. Bastion settles recovering points. That is no longer necessary. Don't need that anymore. Rivals, coup, spelled wrong, and siege. I think that does what we needed to do. The mechanics are there. They're consistent mechanics with everything else that we've done. They're just being framed in a new way. So it's the same mechanics. It's just a new narrative. The only real different mechanics that exist inside the game at all is what Bastion points means to your troops. Like, that's the only variant mechanic that exists inside of the entire Bastion check system. Like, the Bastion point is like a 1-to-1 ratio for a scale of 1 to 5, but when you gain troops involved, those Bastion points are converted into hit points representing total troop mass. That, again, can be recovered by issuing orders to recover them, assuming the resources or pool of potential labor is available. Sabotage. Attacking and defending and sabotage, damage and repairing. Hierarchy of damage, sabotage, repairing, Bastion events and complications. What time is it? It's 8:12. You know what? Honestly, I think I'm going to stop here. We've gotten through recovery. We've gotten through sieges for both Bastions and Armies. We've got all that laid out. This all functions. So I think what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut here. And when we come back on Thursday night, that's when we're actually going to work on Sabotage. So we'll get that started. Sabotage is very similar to Siege. The big difference between Sieges and Sabotage is that it's small numbers of it's a small team that damages army, bastion, or settlement, and when you sabotage, the attacker chooses what gets damaged. In a siege or in an army, you automatically lose troops because that's all you got. In a siege, the defender chooses what is lost, what those bastion points represent. And in a sabotage, the attacker determines what the bastion point damage represents. Like, we're specifically going into sabotage their lifestyle. We're going to trash their economy. We're going to make it difficult for them to be able to get anything done because we're sabotaging them that way. We could sabotage their workshop, so they can't build anything until they repair it. So, like, you can combine siege with sabotage. I can be sieging your settlement, but I could also be sabotaging your lifestyle in addition to sieging. So I could siege, plunder, and sabotage all at the same time as 3 separate orders that I could issue, damaging the settlement as a whole for them to defend it as they please, taking those points as plunder for me to be able to fuel my own lifestyle in the mobile army or to issue additional orders. And I could sabotage to disable one specific aspect of that settlement lifestyle is a great choice, or if they're like, if the reason why we're attacking is because we don't want them to build the atom bomb, we could sabotage the Bastion points used to maintain construction of the atom bomb. You can now no longer progress with the atom bomb because we just took your Bastion points away that were sustaining that task. You're going to now have to roll that effort again, that empower craft check again next Bastion turn. And like an atom bomb, that's going to be like a legendary item. The DC is 30. You're probably going to fail, and you're probably going to have to have a complication that comes on top of it. And because we sabotage you, you're also going to have to issue an order to repair the points to regain those resources to be able to sustain the atom bomb project once you can actually succeed it again. So you can actively delay the success of a supervillain's plan by forming an army to siege their fortress, to distract their troops, to damage them, while your character's adventure could be go in and sabotage the ritual or the project or whatever. So they have to start over again. Like, that is a narrative that has existed inside the game for such a long time. If your characters want to go on that sabotage quest, then that's your adventure. If your characters are doing something more important someplace else, you could just issue these orders to your army. I'm going to have you siege and plunder and sabotage. And so the sabotage would be a smaller army that you break off of your larger army to be your small 10 or less force to go in and sabotage that thing. A sabotage has to be first scale only, basically a character party size, up to 10 characters of whatever rank you can get. So you'd have a first rank team with a fifth rank, like 4 characters of 5th rank, like 17th level characters, and when they go into sabotage that facility, they're going to deal D12 plus 5 points of damage to the Bastion, which will obviously automatically take out up to a 5th rank facility, like a workshop building the bomb. That will automatically be disabled, and you could potentially disable up to 12 additional points, which could be their lifestyle, the points they were using to sustain the project, and you could disable their guild hall and their backup workshop, so they can't effectively repair through the craft order. So this is a narrative that works inside of the frame of any adventure, any movie you could think of, any type of adventure that you might want to send your characters on. We can then boil it down to basically an ability check through an order issued to NPC saboteurs. So, but we'll come back and we'll flesh out all the specific mechanics on that when we come back on Thursday. I'm going to go ahead and reclaim the rest of my evening. I'm going to be back tomorrow morning to continue work on the Eberron art. And if you guys think this stuff is cool and you want to explore the ideas, my Discord channel is down below. You're welcome to join and ask questions. Otherwise, the link to this playtest document is also in the description down below. It's read-only for now, but once it's on the DMsGuild, you'll be able to read it. Just like everything else I have linked down below, you'll be able to read it and see if it's something that you want to incorporate into your game. And yeah, so thanks a lot for checking this stuff out, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Oh, and tomorrow at lunch we're going to work on the Defiling Sorcerer from the Dark Sun Unearthed Arcana. So yeah, we'll do that. Artwork and Defiler Sorcerer tomorrow. And I will see you guys then. Thanks a lot.